Are you struggling to decide the best way to pass Redux state into your React components? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into this common dilemma and exploring the best practices for managing state and actions in your project. I totally get it. Working on a team project can lead to different opinions on how to handle state management. It's frustrating when you can't agree on the best approach, especially when it affects your workflow. Here's the situation we're discussing. One developer prefers using a container component to manage state and actions, while another opts for using map state to props directly in each component. Both methods have their pros and cons, but what is the best practice? So what are the implications of each approach? Using a container component creates a single source of truth, but it can be cumbersome to pass props down through multiple layers. On the other hand, using map state to props directly can lead to redundancy and make it harder to manage changes. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of the best practices for passing Redux state and actions, plus a bonus tip that could streamline your development process. To address the user's question about passing Redux state into components, we recommend starting with a container component. This component will manage the state and actions, providing a single source of truth for all child components. Next, the user should ensure that the container component uses the connect function from React Redux. This function will map the necessary state and actions to the props of the container component. After setting up the container, the user can pass the mapped state and actions down to child components. This approach keeps the data flow clear and manageable. Finally, if a child component requires specific state or actions, the user can still use map state to props within that component. However, it's best to limit this to cases where it's absolutely necessary to avoid redundancy. Fun fact, did you know that Redux was inspired by the Flux architecture? It's fascinating how these patterns evolve and influence our coding practices. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user suggests that the number of components connected to Redux is flexible, but generally, having more connected components can enhance performance. They recommend checking the Redux FAQ for more insights on connecting multiple components. Here's a pro tip. Always document your state management decisions. This helps keep everyone on the same page and makes it easier to onboard new team members. And there you have it. Whether you choose a container component or map state to props, the key is to find what works best for your team and project. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks.